All right, good evening to y'all. It is time for the Central Florida Blitz, a little earlier and a little bit more condensed version tonight. All the Blitz shows are going to be on tonight. As we roll through this, I know tomorrow, I'll just say this, go out and do your civic duty if you're not done that already. I will say that. Go out and do your civic duty tomorrow. But
definitely
we'll do all the shows. Hey, we're going to do that. I'm Joshua Wilson. That's Reno on the other side there. Yes, and actually we have you proper placeholder now, Reno, in the name thing here on the show.
There we go. It's almost official at this point. That's crazy.
Yes, it is. It is. But I'll tell you, it's going to be fun here during the shows over the next couple hours here. So we're at the Central Florida Blitz now, and honestly, Reno, it's hard to believe that this is actually.
Uh-oh. I think Josh got frozen.
Let's see.
You're back.
Yeah, the internet. I lost the internet connection somehow. So I apologize here. What has happened here? It just like literally froze up. But hey, yeah, 4 blitzes in one night. I could have won. Good thing I won't have to drive after this. Yes. Good evening to you, Mark Gannon. Good evening to you as well. By the way, we're here, so apologize again for the freeze, the blip there with some internet connection. We've had some unstable internet here apparently in the last 24 hours. So don't blame me, blame the internet company.
Right.
But anyways, yes, good evening to you, Mark Cannon. By the way, if you're not following us on YouTube, hit us on the YouTube channel at Florida HS Football. Also, the other social media platforms at Florida HS Football, except that X/Twitter, that is FLA HS Football. And also, you love what we do, you can support us if you're watching us on the YouTube channel. You go through and support that right there through the super chat or the super thanks or the super stickers. It is on the YouTube chat here, and we can actually do some other things as well. We can actually start some, I could probably put a poll up if I wanted to as well, but on the YouTube channel, we have that available there for you as well. But Reno, as I was going to say before everything froze up, it's week 12. It's a rare week 12 because actually we'd be starting playoffs this week, but it's a makeup week for teams that missed some games due to the 2 hurricanes this year so far. And I know there's a storm named Raphael out there, but we're not going to talk about him.
We've had enough storms.
We've already had enough storms, but we got some interesting news to get to here. And I think it is time for the Blitz lines as we roll into this here. Yes. How about this? This was the big news Friday, and I'll tell you now, South Florida Blitz, it's not going to be on the rundown, but we will talk about it because this came out like this afternoon. But we've had some issues here. But this one, the FHA brings out the hammer on First Academy late Friday afternoon. And this is just, it really just, when you dissect this, it really is like astonishing because we haven't heard the FHA laying down the hammer like this in a while. But fines, according to Buddy Collins at the Orlando Sentinel, $36,000 in fines were assessed. And one assistant coach, Stephen Moffitt, is banned from coaching until October 31st of 2025. And some of the astonishing things that come out is like a number of players filling out school applications wrote the Wards Moffitt athletic director coach. It just really interesting is how they heard about that, and the reporting indicates Moffitt offered Uber ride to a school for a player not yet enrolled. I mean, they said Moffitt communicated with players prior to their enrollment at the First Academy, which is a violates the recruiting rule. And actually, believe this or not, this is actually Moffitt's second violation. He just come off a 6-week suspension for the first violation. This is now the second violation. And now he is banned from coaching at any FHA member school for a year. And boy, it really, really makes things interesting. And with just my understanding that they're actually going to appeal this And apparently the emergency appeal is going to take place either Thursday or Friday morning. And that's going to have an impact of when the playoff brackets come out. It could either be Friday afternoon at sometime Friday evening, or it could be Saturday morning. So if anybody's got questions on that, it just really, just hold tight on that, because we don't know. And as I posted on Twitter earlier today, it's definitely going to be one of those wait and see games, but hopefully we'll have more answers. Hopefully, potentially Thursday, we may have some answers. Hopefully, but if it's not Thursday, if we don't have anything in terms of Friday by Friday afternoon, it's Saturday morning. So we'll leave it at that. But yeah,
it's a huge decision. It's going to dictate a lot that happens moving forward as well. Choices that are made here.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So basically, TFA also had to forfeit all 8 of their victories. Right now, they do have a win against Clearwater Calvary Christian. And we'll see what happens. See if that game holds up in terms of being even a game that's won. But they are also banned from the playoffs, not just this year, but next year. So, and then also TFA is also on restricted probation until December 20th, 2025, according to the Orlando Sentinel reporting. So, and Emory Williams-Smith, good evening to you. I know you're getting ready to watch some Monday Night Football here coming up here in a little bit, but as you say that, it seems like this is happening a lot lately. Over the weekend, I read about the First County forfeit games, and now I read today about happening in Miami Central, which we will talk about South Florida Blitz. But yes, Miami Central also penalized today as well. And yeah, there's a lot happening here over the last 96 hours, you could say. It's definitely been a lot coming down the pike here in terms of news. And but anyway, onto some good news here. All right, hey, we'll bring the round of applause out here as we talk about Flagler Palm Coast. They take the Potato Bowl 68-26, and Braylon Simmons returned the opening kickoff for the first of his 4 scores, according to the Daytona Beach News Journal. How about this? Looking at this one, Hayden Hayes, 15-24, passing for 355 yards, 4 touchdowns. What a night! Have a night.
And Braylon on top of that had 125 on top of that return with all those passing yards. So it was just a slaughter at that point.
No, absolutely. It was definitely a slaughter. And but I mean, not to say that Matanzas didn't put up a fight there, but Matanzas 4-6. They were on the they were one of the 2 teams on the in the bubble in Class 5A Region 1. But with that loss and Childs' loss, we'll talk about that in the North Florida Blitz more. But they actually ended up and they're going to end up aiding Middleburg to keep that number 8 seed in that region, most likely. So. Yeah, so some of the way it's going to be down to talk about it. We're with these games, as we go along, playoff spots are being locked up here. Basically, we just don't know what seed yet. But another game that this was on our picks. The Potato Bowl was on our picks. This one was on our picks last week. Hudson Trophy stays with Titusville. Titusville 34, Astronaut 6, and Terriers started off, took the lead real quick, and never looked back. And Titusville now 6-4, and got to give it to the Terriers. They're looking like they're going to be playoff bound about this. But Jamarian Stevens a touchdown. Dean Roberts knocked in the extra point, and they for that second touchdown. But yeah, the Titusville Terriers on to better things with the playoffs lurking around. So 6-4, they keep the trophy, beat their city rival Astronaut again, 34-6. Can't beat that when you're the program that's been improving there, and Titusville looking pretty good this year. Once again, playoff bound. But
always a good place to be, playoff bound.
Yes, exactly. And how about another team that's playoff bound because they're district champs, and they started off slow here actually in this game. Bishop Moore had a lead at one point after they were down. Bishop Moore was up 14-0 in this game, but Lake Mary scores 34 unanswered basically after that, and goes on a tear on Bishop Moore. And but it actually says the final score is 34-16, so they were down 14-0, but at the end of the first quarter, so they scored the first 16 points, and then they went on a tear there. And it took a little bit, it took a moment for them to wake up, but honestly, it's better to wake up sooner rather than later. I mean, I know some football teams cannot wake up, but Lake Mary woke up in the second quarter and just went from there, and it's like, nope. you're not gonna put us on the losing end of a third game this year. And Lake Mary 8-2 on the season. And looking at this, Isaiah Thomas 124 carries, 124 yards rushing, as I say, on 20 carries. Also had a touchdown, and Noah Grubbs had 2 rushing touchdowns along with a couple of passing touchdowns as well. And well, what do you got to say? Lake Mary looking pretty good, looking like they'll be the number 1 seed sitting there in Class 7A Region 1 when it's all said and done, going into the postseason. But hey, it was no barbecue for Rockledge. It was all barbecue for Cocoa. 30.
Man.
Yeah. By the way, real quick here, I know I missed something here, but the Battle of the Barrel goes to Edgewater, 42-14. Edgewater just rolled Boone, basically. And so there's that right there. So the Battle of the Barrel stays with Edgewater in that one. And yeah, I mean, talk about that. It's just been Edgewater season there, and in terms of that. But as we go back to Cocoa and Rockledge, for Cocoa, it was a barbecue. Rockledge, it was no barbecue.
Not at all.
Yeah, the Tigers just literally rolled them 37-0. You got to understand this. I mean, Cocoa, the games that Cocoa has lost, I've been to some very tough opponents. I mean, we're talking teams like IMG Academy, Venice, and Miami Norland. I mean, when you talk about that's the 3 losses that the Tigers have taken on here, it definitely tells you a lot right there in terms of what to expect out of Cocoa coming into the playoffs. And Cocoa being in Class 2A Region 2. That Region 2 bracket ain't gonna be no cakewalk either, because there's Bradford, there's Newberry, there's Berkeley Prep. I mean, we could go on down the list here.
But one thing that stands out is 89% passing in that game with 304 yards. So bring it, and that's what Cocoa is saying.
Oh no, they're gonna bring it there, and that's the big thing right there is about Cocoa is that, hey, you know what, when Brady Hart's doing that 90%, you say 90% passing, how about this 340 yards? That you can't beat that. Can't beat that. The quarterback rating, how about this 146.4? I mean,
defenses better start watching film. That's all I can say. Get ready.
And that includes Bradford and Newberry and all the other guys. So you better just watch out.
Just watch out.
Absolutely. All right. Dr. Phillips takes the Old Orange crate, and they give hand West Orange their second loss of the season. Dr. Phillips 33, West Orange 11. Dr. Phillips, man, they just had a night there. And looking at this, Stanley Anderson Lofton for Dr. Phillips. How about this? 17-22, 295 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and on the receiving end was Cameron Dixon, 11 catches, 188 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And honestly, Dr. Phillips looking pretty doggone good. They have 1 game left this week. They have to deal with East Ridge. As of last week, the game wasn't even had a scheduled date. So at some point, they're playing this game here within the next 4 days. And Dr. Phillips a heavy favorite to win that, because that win will put them officially as district champs in District 7A9. So, yeah, Dr. Phillips looking pretty good.
Strong.
Yeah. Hey, at West Orange, they're 8-2. They're headed to the playoffs. They're district champs 7A5. So, on to the playoffs, they will be headed to as well. But Jones, how about this? 14-0 over Ocoee. That comes a week after. This comes a week after they put up 77 points. So, I mean, Ocoee gave them everything they could, but 14-0 was the final score. Duran Coleman for Jones, 11-15 for passing, 202 yards 202 yards passing, and a touchdown. And again, all they needed was 14 points. But Mark Cannon brings up a good question. Is Ocoee's defense that good to keep Jones from scoring so low? I mean, got to think about it. Let's go back and look at Ocoee. If you go back and look at Ocoee week 1, I mean, it was a low scoring ball game too. In that game against Apopka, I mean, this is a team that 10-0 they lost to Apopka that game, and that goes back to week 1. So when you start to look at some of these scores that Ocoee's been in, I mean, let's look at this. Apopka, they lost to 10-0. All right. They lost to Dr. Phillips 21-7. All right. going down further, I mean, they lost to West Orange 21-14. They lost to Winter Park 31-15. I mean, Ocoee will be in the playoffs. I mean, a 5-5 team, but they probably had one of the better schedules given the teams they played. So, but Ocoee, it just depends on the game, and they gave Jones everything. But also, here's the other thing: is did Jones keep some of the guys out that would have potentially put more points up? That I do wonder. But as we know, Darian Coleman playing last week, so that doesn't really say much there in terms for Jones. But I will say this: Ocoee, probably why they didn't score as much on points. Well, they were using a backup quarterback for Friday night, so that is the answer there to that.
Everyone has their own strategy. Everyone has their own strategy at the end of the season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Reno. But Sunshine State Athletic Association, they had their first round of the playoffs here, and let's take a look at the results here, and going with the 8-man bracket, with the state championship bracket here for 8-man football. The team in the area to watch is obviously Merritt Island Christian beat St. Petersburg Canterbury 20-6, and then they're going to pair up with Countryside Christian out of Gainesville, who won their matchup on the other side, 35-13 over Donahue Catholic out of Ave Maria. So Gainesville Countryside Christian will be making the trip over to Merritt Island Christian this week in the SSA 8-man state championship bracket. Looking at the SSAA Atlantic State Championship bracket right there, the only team in this region, in the Central Florida Blitz region, was Bayside. Bayside fell 28-20 to Frostproof, so Bayside season is done. Yes. Also, if you notice in the North bracket, we'll talk more about it, but there's a double forfeit sitting out there, and there's something interesting there about that, but we from limited knowledge, we understand based upon just certain things, but we're not going to get too much into the detail now right there, but we'll talk about that on the North Florida Blitz, because that's where we're going to talk about that there. Today 5A bracket, you can take a look here. Foundation Academy out of Orlando, Winter Garden, I should say. They were the 1 seed. That's not Bishop Moore, it was Bishop Snyder. Sorry, that's it somehow clicked Bishop Moore instead of Bishop Snyder properly in the bracket, but I'll get that fixed before the next show rolls around. But Foundation Academy beat Bishop Snyder out of Jacksonville 35-0, and they're gonna host St. Joseph, who beat Oak Hall out of Gainesville 52-19 in that side of that bracket. And then going to the 11-man state championship bracket, Masters Academy in Oviedo 55-14 over Lake Highland Prep. That's going to pit them against Christ Church, who beat Mount Dora Christian, another team in this region, 42-7. So Masters Academy will host Christ Church this coming week in the SSA 11-man state championship bracket. So that is a look at the Sunshine State Athletic Association first round playoff results in the major brackets there. And guess what? We're only going to have one water break tonight, but we are going to have a water break. And so we're going to drink up. I'm assuming you got some Gatorade somewhere or something like that. Powerade, maybe, Reno?
Yep. Here we go. The blue.
He's got it. There we go. Yes, indeed. He's got it. All right, we're going to take our water break here for the show. Then we're going to come back, do some fan questions. You've got a fan question, pop it in the chat wherever you're watching us at on YouTube, Facebook, or X/Twitter. We're going to take a 2-minute water break, and then we'll be right back, and then we'll get ready for the best part of it, the Pick Six. We'll be right back right after this, right here on the Central Florida Blitz. All right, welcome back here on the Central Florida Blitz, and boy, I'm not seeing any questions here, but I don't know. Well, you got a question for me, Reno?
Well, what do you think about this week in the Central Florida remake with the matchups this week coming into the Big Six? What kind of implications does this week bring when it comes to playoffs?
Ooh, that's a good question there. And actually, for a few teams, it's gonna make or break their seasons in terms of, are they going to be district champions, or are they going to be looking on the outside looking in come potentially late Friday afternoon or Saturday morning, sitting at home watching everybody else go dancing. That'll be that. There are some games here that will have that. And actually, where can we go find the schedule for the SAA playoffs? Looking for Masters Academy versus Christ Church. That is a good question. My understanding that the scheduling, the bracket is on Max Preps for the SSAA. So that's where I would go to is Max Preps and look under the playoffs tab for the state of Florida and go from there. That's where the SSAA is posting their playoff brackets. Or I believe you can go to Sunshine State Athletics. I want to say Sunshine. I want to make sure that I give it sunshinestateathletics.com, and then they have the football section there for that. But there you go, Mark. Hopefully that helps there. But yeah, as I said, Reno, the games for this week, there's some playoff implications for some of these teams sitting here, and we'll go through that here in just about a couple seconds here. And yes, indeed, it is that time. We're going to go into the pick six. It is that time. All right. Oh, let me get to this real quick here. Scott McDaniel out there at Union County. Hey, Coach, glad you're on here. We can talk to you about this a little real quick. Any rural division seeding predictions? Well, I mean, honestly, I can tell you this real quick in the rural division, real quick. It's Union County, Chiefland, those guys. They'll be all in the top five, but it's going to be hard. And since there's some rural teams making up games tonight, I don't want to tonight and tomorrow, I don't want to kind of totally predict necessarily exactly where I want to go with that, but just wait and see. We'll see what happens come Friday afternoon, Friday evening, or Saturday morning. But yeah, I just think those guys like Union County and Chiefland, they'll all be top five. You know, this is not really that region here, but I'll answer the question anyways. But to get into our pick six, actually should be the pick six for week 12, not week 11. So, but anyways, all right. Last week, hey, Reno, 4-2. Not bad.
Not bad. And,
but guess what? I was a perfect 6-0 on the picks.
Whatever. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
You don't want to talk about You don't want to talk about it anymore. I get it. All right. I'm 46-18 on the season so far through these 11 weeks minus week 8, 71, almost 72%, right? Right on these games. So I like that.
All right. Good. This one. Good.
Yeah. So this one actually for St. Cloud has more playoff implications than Ridge Community. Ridge Community was sitting on the outside looking in terms of the rankings in their classification. They're in Class 7A Region 2, not even in the top 10. But for St. Cloud, who is in Class 5A, St. Cloud, I want to say. They were in 5A. I want to say 5 or 6A. They were looking at potentially being in the mix here at one point or another, but this could be more beneficial for St. Cloud in this situation if they could win this game here. But this is a makeup game from the Storms here, but both teams are already, if they if they don't make the postseason bracket, they could play bowl games if they find an opponent for week 13. But again, this is a game that really does have playoff implications, and my leaning goes towards the home team in this one with the St. Cloud Bulldogs, because Rich Community, they've been in the mix for the playoffs and they slide out, they come in and they slide out, and now they're in a situation they're kind of sitting there looking out, and I don't think there's a way to even think about getting in. And as you know, by the way, as you play along here, you can print your picks into the chat, and I will throw them up here on the screen as I see what Christopher Like is already doing here. And Reno, my pick this week is going St. Cloud with the first game.
I'm going the same way with you because I see how Ridge has been up and down this year, and St. Cloud's on a good stroll. So let's get a good breeze their way.
No, absolutely. And Reno is going St. Cloud here. And Christopher Like, hey, good to see you, my friend. St. Cloud by 2. And so I like it. I like the prediction there. And we'll roll along into our second game. Wekiva 3-6 at Jones 9. I know Jones don't even need this game. I don't even know why they're making this game up. But for Wekiva, I think it's just a matter of getting this game in and having something to play for. And let's see what happens here. This could be a trap or no clue. So St. Cloud, because Mark Cannon is. So what is this going to follow Josh's lead now? Because I went 6-0. You might want to hold your horses here a little bit here, because you wait until you see the other shows. You may not be wanting to follow me. Follow me.
Yeah, I saw mine for the other one too. We'll talk about that later. That was
see that, but really, this is more for Wekiva at this point than Jones. I mean, Jones, they can rest the starters this week and probably still win this game, in my opinion. But, I don't even know why they're trying to play this game and make it up. But I think Wekiva just more wanted so, because I think when at that one point back a few weeks ago, Wekiva was still sitting there potentially in the mix to potentially get in. But as it all goes, that is not the situation for Wekiva. They're not even in the bubble right this second, and that's where I just lean on going with the home team with the Jones Tigers for the W this week.
Yep, Jones all the way, 100%.
Jones all the way. You hear Reno on that one. Jones all the way. Christopher Like is calling for Jones by 21, and Mark Cannon sitting there going for Jones as well. So far, me and Reno are 2 for 2 here in terms of our picks. And this one, what I tell you about, this has got playoff implications. District 7A 4 title right here. Boone 5-4 at Winter Park 6-3. Showalter Field. I'll tell you this right now. Whoever wins is in. Whoever loses is out, because there's just no way. Now, according to the playoff rankings last week, this was from last week's rankings, Winter Park was number 7 in the region in 7A Region 1 at 7.767. Boone was sitting there at number 9, 4.555. So, again, this is why we're saying most likely whoever wins this game is that they'll be on. Whoever loses could most likely be out. And that's also contingent on another game that we're going to talk about here in the Pick 6. If we see what happens, things could happen. Some interesting things could happen. But my safe bet goes with the home team on this one. I'm going with Winter Park to take the victory in for the district championship. But we see some interesting picks here coming here on the chat. But Reno, what is your pick here in this one?
Winter is coming. Winter Park.
Oh, winter is coming. Yeah, winter is coming. All right. Mark Cannon has Winter Park, and Christopher Like is going Boone by 3. So he's going with the away team, which could happen. I mean, Boone. There's been times where Andy Johnson's team has come in and has done things I don't think that I would expect it. So again, Boone could go in and win this game, but again, huge district game and playoff implications on the line there. Game that is actually a makeup here coming from a few weeks ago. Melbourne Central Catholic. This game is going to be down in Miami. Yes, we know we put it in the South Florida Blitz, but we're kind of mixing it up here a little bit to make sure that we have 6 games for every region here this week to balance out the schedule. But MCC, they are district champs now, thanks to the First Academy forfeit. So MCC picked up an extra win. So actually, technically, MCC sitting there with a 7-2 record, not 6-3, but it has not been officially changed yet in the system because of the pending pill by First Academy. But the Hustlers looking pretty good. True North sitting there looking pretty good for a playoff position. So it's for both of these teams at this point, it's a matter of positioning here, in my opinion. And the Hustlers, I think, are going to – True North has been kind of – at times kind of unpredictable in terms of, they drop a game and you think they're going to drop the next game, and then they win the game, and then you think they're going to win the game, and then they drop the game. And honestly, to me, the Hustlers have just been playing better football in terms of in all factors, and playing a much better schedule, in my opinion. And that's where I lean towards Melbourne Central Catholic winning this one. So, Reno, where are you going to go with this one?
Slow your roll, Josh.
Oh,
I'm going to go True North with this one.
Uh-oh. Ooh.
Ooh.
You're going true north. Oh, man. Wow. Okay. Finally, an opposite pick. And Christopher Like is going MCC by 6. And Mark Cannon, he's like MCC, Manatee Community College, one of my alma maters. Oh, but he's going MCC. I think he's going MCC for this one. So, oh man. Oh, man. All right, let's roll this one here. DeLand at Flagler Palm Coast. This game is not for a district title, but it does have it's interesting that it has district title implications in a way, because here's the scenario. DeLand's 5-4, Flagler Palm Coast is 8-1. All right, so the scenario that puts Flagler Palm Coast, DeLand's out of the district title running. A loss here could potentially either put DeLand on the 8th seed, which is where they were last week, or potentially out. So just keeping that in mind. Flagler Palm Coast winning this game, they're going to be in the playoffs. They were like they're number 4 last week in the rankings. The thing here is this. The next game we'll talk about is Orange City University at Spruce Creek. Flagler Palm Coast wins this game, and Spruce Creek beats Orange City University. District 7A2 will end up in a 3-way tie. How about that? A 3-way tie. But the way I'm going with my picks, we'll see what happens. But for this week, I think this is a battle of Bulldogs, by the way. DeLand Bulldogs versus Flagler Palm Coast Bulldogs. So the Bulldogs are going to win. It's just which Bulldogs are going to win. In my thoughts, Flagler Palm Coast is just it's going to be a dogfight. Absolutely. And I'm going with Flagler Palm Coast. They have just been playing some solid football as of late. And their signature win so far this season is obviously beating Spruce Creek, who beat DeLand. So that's where I lean into this one. I'm going with Flagler Palm Coast to beat DeLand, and Christopher Like is going Flagler Palm Coast by 7. Reno, where are you going with this one?
I'm sticking with Flagler Palm Coast. I think the flag's too strong.
Oh, but Mark Cannon is like, DeLand with Darlington empties his bag of tricks. Well, Darlington's going to need to empty his bag of tricks here, because this is a game that the DeLand Bulldogs definitely need in order to keep playoff hopes alive and potentially keep Boone, Winter Park, or Haggerty on the outside of this. So, and Emory Williams-Smith, there's a 100% chance the Bulldogs will win.
I'll take that bet. Somehow the Bulldog will lose. I'm taking that.
Take that. Yeah, I'll take that for 1,000, Alex. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. As we roll along here. All right, we got one more game in the pickings here, and that is the District 7A2 title. Yes, because Orange City University can just win this outright with a win over Spruce Creek. Spruce Creek, as I said, can win this game. If Flagler Palm Coast wins it, beats DeLand, it creates a 3-way tie. Now, here's the interesting situation. Here's a scenario. Spruce Creek could win the district. If Flagler Palm Coast loses this game against DeLand, and they beat Orange City University. So this definitely has a lot of implications here, sitting here for both teams. But my thought is, Orange City University is just going to go ahead and finish this off, not have to worry about a tiebreaker, and just roll on with being district champs.
Yep, I agree. University, Orange City all the way on this one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Christopher Like is going OC University by 10, and Mark Cannon is going the opposite way with Spruce Creek, and that would create some mayhem. Who doesn't love mayhem at this time of year as we go towards the postseason? So. All right, that was the pick 6 there for week number 12, the rare week 12 as of regular season football, but that we do have here, and we are going to wrap this thing up because coming up at 7:45, we're going to go rolling into the Gulf Coast. Yes, consolidated 30-minute version, so we'll try to get in 30 minutes, but sometimes we just have too much fun and we end up going over a little bit. But yes, indeed. Any final thoughts here, Reno, real quick?
No, Central Florida's looking real strong. We got some really big games this week to make up, and then let's just see how we do the playoff this weekend, and let's get that rolling. I'm ready for some real competition, not just games anymore.
No, absolutely. Well, it is time to wrap this thing up. We're going to get ready for the Gulf Coast Blitz coming up here in just a few minutes here, 7:45, approximately, right here on the FortHSFootball.com and FortHSFootball.com social media networks. We'll see you back here in a few minutes, right here on our Blitz shows, right here on FortHSFootball.com. See ya.